There's a moment most starseeds never forget. The day of food you have eaten your entire life. A meal that used to feel like comfort, like home, like one of the few things your body never questioned, suddenly feels wrong inside you. Not allergic, not dramatic, just wrong. A subtle refusal underneath your ribs, a heaviness that does not match the portion. A whisper from somewhere deeper than digestion that says, "This is not for me anymore." And you tried to make sense of it. You ran the tests. You watched the videos. You eliminated and reintroduced and tracked and second-guessed and quietly wondered if something was breaking down inside you that no one could yet name. It is not breaking down. It is recalibrating. You did not find this transmission by accident. Your higher self routed you here, into this specific window, because the layer of the awakening that lives in the body, in the gut, in the cells, in the silent intelligence beneath every meal you have ever eaten, is asking to be understood, not feared. Understood. This is not content. This is a transmission, and it was prepared by the Arcturian Council for the souls whose bodies have begun speaking a language louder than the one they grew up obeying. Close your eyes for one breath. Let your jaw soften. The shame of being too sensitive can be set down for the next 25 minutes. What is coming is not diagnosis. It is recognition. The Arcturian Council does not issue transmissions on ordinary frequencies, and they do not direct them toward ordinary thresholds. They observe the slow arc of a starseed incarnation with a patience that is difficult for the human mind to imagine. They wait. They measure. They intervene only when a soul has arrived at the precise window where intervention will hold, where the body and the field are coordinated enough to receive what is being transmitted without distortion. That window is open for you right now. The Earth is in an acceleration phase the Council has been tracking for decades. The ambient frequency of the planet has been steadily rising, and within that rise, certain bodies, yours among them, have been quietly upgrading their cellular interface. Your physical form is not the same instrument it was 3 years ago. The receivers have changed. The membrane has thinned. The signal-to-noise ratio inside your nervous system has shifted in ways no clinical panel was designed to detect. What the Council calls light-body dietary recalibration is the moment your body's relationship with matter begins to reorganize itself around its new frequency. The foods that once registered as fuel begin to register as static. The drinks that once felt neutral begin to feel like sandpaper across the etheric layer. The cravings that used to make sense begin to feel like echoes from someone you no longer are. This is the topic the Council has placed inside this transmission today. Not symptoms, not food rules, the architecture beneath them. And if your body has been quietly trying to tell you something that the people around you cannot translate, what is about to move through this transmission was prepared in addition to every honest healing tool you have already used. Beyond what those tools were designed for, into the layer where this kind of change actually lives. Let me describe what your body has been doing and see if it lands. You sit down to a meal that used to be safe, something familiar, something you have eaten 1,000 times without a single complication. And within 30 minutes, sometimes within 10, a heaviness arrives in your stomach that has nothing to do with the portion size. Not pain, exactly. A density, a reluctance. As if the meal is being processed by a system that has stopped agreeing with it. That is one. You drink a glass of wine, or a coffee, or a soda, and the response from your nervous system is suddenly disproportionate to the dose. A flicker of anxiety that did not used to be there. A racing pulse, a tightness behind the eyes, a heat in the chest that lasts longer than it should. Your body is not weaker. Your body is more accurate. That is 2. A craving arrives that you cannot trace. Not for sugar, not for salt. Something stranger. Greens you used to push to the side of the plate. Water in volumes that surprise you. Food so plain they feel almost ceremonial, as if a part of you that you have not yet met is ordering nourishment over your conscious head. That is 3. And after certain meals that look fine on paper, meals no one around you would flag, a fog descends. Not sleepiness, a flattening, a disconnect from the clarity you had an hour earlier, as if the food itself has lowered the bandwidth of the channel you usually run on. That is 4. For a long time you have tried to make these 4 symptoms into 4 separate problems, 4 different protocols, 4 different theories. But they are not 4 problems. They are one signal, broadcasting from the same source, asking you to recognize the same thing. Your body has not turned against you. Your body has become more precise. The detection system has refined. What it once accepted in good faith, it now reads with accuracy. And the heaviness, the racing, the cravings, the fog, these are not malfunctions. They are the language of an instrument that has finished tuning. You have already done real work to reach this moment. The supplements, the cleanses, the functional medicine, the reading, the careful listening, all of it built the foundation that allows this layer to even become visible. None of it was wasted. This particular layer simply lives somewhere those tools were not designed to enter, and it requires a different kind of attention. One transmission can open the recognition. Repeated daily witnessing is what allows the body to hold what it has finally been allowed to feel. If something inside you exhaled while reading that paragraph, if a part of your chest that had been gripping for years just let go, go to the comments right now and type 333. 333 is the Arcturian Trinity alignment code. It signals that your physical, etheric, and energetic bodies are coming back into coordination after a long period of mismatch. When you type it, you are not engaging with a video. You are telling your own field, I am willing to listen. If what just moved through you needs more than a single sitting to integrate, there is a structured continuation already prepared for exactly this layer of your awakening. The Arcturian Lightbody Diet was built for the viewer whose body has begun refusing what it once accepted, and who needs a frequency-based map of what to eat, what to drink, and what to practice now that conventional nutrition no longer matches the system forming inside them. It contains the 7-day frequency reset, daily pre-meal practices, a high-coherence food guide, structured water protocols, and the chakra-resonance map your body has been silently asking for. The link is in the description and pinned in the comments. Your purchase also supports Arcturian frequency and helps these transmissions reach the souls who need them. Now let me tell you what is actually happening beneath the symptoms, because the Arcturian Council wants you to understand the mechanism, not so you can intellectualize it, but so the fear underneath your relationship with food can finally release. Inside your abdomen, wrapped around your digestive tract, there is a neural network that biological science calls the enteric nervous system. It is composed of approximately 100 million neurons, more than the spinal cord contains. Researchers call it the second brain, and that designation is not metaphorical. It produces neurotransmitters, regulates inflammation, and communicates with the cranial brain through the vagus nerve in a constant two-way feedback loop. When you eat, the enteric nervous system does not only evaluate the chemistry of the food, it evaluates the coherence of it, the information density, the structured signal carried by the molecules entering you. Living foods, fresh, recently harvested, unprocessed, emit measurable structured light. The research in biophotonics, developed through decades of careful work, has documented that cells in living organisms radiate ultra-weak photon emissions, and the coherence of that emission corresponds to the vitality of the organism. A fresh leaf glows differently than a processed product. Your second brain reads that difference. Your second brain has always read that difference. The change is that it is no longer willing to pretend it cannot tell. What the Arcturians add to this picture is the layer beneath the layer. The enteric nervous system is the physical anchor of the solar plexus chakra, the third energetic center, the seat of personal will and digestion in both literal and symbolic forms. Above the solar plexus, threaded through the 7 subtle bodies, lies the etheric template, the energetic blueprint that holds the original coherent pattern of your body. Low-coherence foods do not only burden the physical body, they register as static across the etheric template, creating a faint disruption that the awakened nervous system now detects in real time. Before your activation reached this stage, that disruption was happening, but the signal was buried beneath the noise of everything else the system was metabolizing. Now the noise has cleared, the frequency has lifted, and the same meal that once produced a barely perceptible drag now produces a felt, embodied refusal, because the gap between what the food is broadcasting and what your field is broadcasting has widened past the point your system can absorb. You are not developing intolerance, you are developing accuracy. And the vagus nerve, the long wandering channel that connects the gut to the brainstem, is the neural correspondent of the very column of light the Arcturian Council uses to interface with your body. When you are eating in fear, in a hurry, in a state of subtle threat, the vagus nerve cannot carry the parasympathetic signal that digestion requires. The food enters a body that is not open to receive it, and the etheric layer registers that mismatch too. You have been solving a frequency problem with chemistry tools, and the chemistry tools have done what they were designed to do. This layer simply lives elsewhere. Let your hand come to your lower belly, not your chest, your belly, the soft space where the second brain lives. Let the weight of your palm be a question rather than a command, and let your breath travel down to meet it. Breathe into the space beneath your hand, not into your shoulders, not into your throat, into the bowl of your pelvis. Feel the small lift of warmth where palm meets skin. If you have citrine near you, hold it loosely now. Citrine carries the frequency of the solar plexus, the golden center of personal will, the seat your nervous system has been quietly trying to repair. Let it rest in your hand or on your stomach. You do not need to do anything with it. Its frequency does the work. Imagine a soft column of cyan-light descending from above your crown. Not bright, living, the color of an inner sea. Feel it enter the top of your head and begin a slow, unhurried descent through the center of your body. It moves through your third eye. It passes through your throat without urgency. It reaches your heart, the dimensional gateway, and pauses there. Feel a quiet expansion beneath your sternum. The light is steady. Your heart is being given permission to soften around what your stomach has been carrying alone. Now, follow the light down into your solar plexus, the golden region just above your navel. This is where the recalibration has been happening. This is where every meal you have eaten in fear, every meal you have rushed through, every meal your body silently disagreed with has registered as a small misalignment. The Council is interfacing here now. Feel a golden warmth begin to spread. Not heat, coherence. The light is locating every place inside the solar plexus where your enteric nervous system has been bracing, scanning, defending. And it is asking those tissues to release the brace. Feel the soft fall of the muscles in your abdomen, the grip you didn't know you were holding around food, around eating, around whether your body would betray you again. The grip is loosening. breathe. Let the exhale leave through your mouth this time. Let the light continue down into your sacral center. Feel the creative flow there, reconnect to the digestive intelligence above it. Sacral and solar working together, the river resuming, down into the root. If you have black tourmaline near you, let its quiet weight enter your awareness now. Anchor through your sit bones, your feet, the floor beneath you. The recalibration must be grounded into the body or it will dissipate. Feel the dark, steady frequency of the stone, pulling the light through you and into the planet beneath you. Now, bring your awareness back up the column, slowly, from root to sacral to solar plexus, where the warmth is still gathered. Rest there for a moment. Place both hands on your belly now if it feels right. Feel the rise and fall under your palms. Feel that this body, this specific body, with its new sensitivities, its new refusals, its new cravings, is not broken. It is precise. Feel one final pulse of light move from your solar plexus outward into the field around you. A signal sent, a signal received. The second brain and the first brain coming back into one conversation. The food that arrives from this point forward will be met by a system that is no longer at war with its own intelligence. Let the column dim slightly, like an instrument settling. Let your breath find its own rhythm again. Open your eyes when you are ready. What just moved through your field was not small. The recalibration that has been running underneath your meals for months, sometimes years, has just been given conscious recognition. And conscious recognition is what allows a slow, energetic process to complete cleanly, rather than dragging itself out indefinitely. For the next 72 hours, your system will be integrating what just shifted. During that window, drink more water than you think you need, and let it be water that feels alive to you. Water that has been sitting in glass. Water that has touched the morning. Eat simply. Eat slowly. Before each meal, take one full breath into the space beneath your navel, the same place your hand rested during the transmission. That single breath is enough to bring the vagus nerve into parasympathetic readiness, and that readiness is the difference between food that nourishes you and food that fights you. Spend time with your feet on the actual earth. The Schumann resonance at 7.83 Hz acts as a natural amplifier for cellular recalibration, and the integration of a shift in the digestive field needs that planetary support. And if you continue with the written practice after this, let it become an anchor, not a pressure. A few minutes a day, consistently, will hold what the transmission opened. You are not too sensitive. You are not damaged. You are not the only one in your house, your family, your circle, whose body has begun to refuse what everyone else still accepts. You are someone whose detection system has refined past the point of pretending. That is a calibration, not a flaw. The food that suits you now will reveal itself slowly, one quiet preference at a time, in a body that is finally trusted to know its own answer. The cravings will simplify, the static will lift, the relationship between you and what you take in will return to the original cleanness it was always supposed to have. You are a starseed in a body that is finishing its tuning. The instrument is intact. The instrument is ready. The instrument has, in fact, never been more honest than it is right now. The transmission has done what it came to do. The next 72 hours belong to your body. Let them. Do not over-monitor. Do not turn the recalibration into another project. Trust the instrument. But the layer that just moved is the doorway to a deeper one. Because once the body's relationship with food begins to clear, the nervous system itself begins to ask for a different kind of regulation. One that can hold the higher frequency of light without overflowing into anxiety, restlessness, or sensory overwhelm. That is the next transmission the Arcturian Council is preparing in this sequence. Nervous system recalibration for high-frequency light transmission, the threshold beyond the one you just crossed. But before you reach that, there is something already in your field tonight, already opened, already waiting on the end screen. The video appearing now addresses the solar plexus directly. The physical symptoms of awakening that live in the gut, the burning, the tightness, the unexplained shifts, the moments when the center of your body knows something you have not yet had words for. The recalibration you just received does not finish there, it deepens there. Click it. Stay inside the field. Do not let the density of the ordinary day close what just opened in your second brain. Arcturian frequency does not exist to entertain you. It exists to walk beside you through the layers of an awakening that no one in your immediate life can fully accompany you through. The portal from this session is still active. Move into the next one while it is.